So this morning, while crawling through morning traffic, I decided to put myself through an experiment. Commutes are usually reserved for podcasts, but today I opted for the news. I gave myself only one rule. Regardless of how uncomfortable I would listen to either local or national or regional news until I reached my destination, which was a local coffee shop about 25 minutes away from the house, I now understand why road rage exists. I stepped out of my car at the coffee shop thinking that the government is in shambles, the current president sucks at running the country, any president-elect will suck at running the country, and my next door neighbor is likely a drug dealer or a terrorist. My name is Kimble Rogers. Today was a wacky Wednesday. Now, I'm all for democracy, but you must see the negativity bias, which is a collective desire to hear, portray, and remember bad news that is in play here. Honestly, what's a red-blooded African Portuguese guy supposed to do? News is 24/7, making it almost impossible to avoid. I could ask you to sell your stuff, buy a horse, and join an Amish community, but for most of us, that ship left the port long ago, and if I'm keeping it real, I'm not sure it's the most effective strategy for people who are not of that pursuit of faith, Christians. Anyway, Jesus valued the marketplace. After all, most of Jesus's public appearances and parables focused on the agora, the marketplace. The marketplace was the societal center, the place where life happened. Now, the challenge for followers of Christ is to engage culture without losing hope. You see, hope erases fear and anxiety. And followers of Jesus should be on the front line of culture, waving the banner of hope, because news stories don't shape our reality. Jesus does. The latest round of bad news should never imprison us. Hope is not about what you see, but how you see. So, here's a few thoughts on engaging the news without losing hope. Always remember that you are the curator of the news that you consume. I heard an evangelist go into detail about this point. He challenges people to take back control, to decide what's news, rather than allowing a few suit and ties on the TV to decide it for you. His mantra is, breaking news, I'll decide. That's brilliant. So, here's the point. Every day, almost every news channel, CNN, Fox News, SABC, ZBC, local news stations, must deliver news stories. Just because someone leads with a story doesn't mean it's newsworthy. You need to take back the curator role, because a group of suits should not decide what stories deserve your attention and energy. For example, I decided almost every story involving celebrities doesn't deserve my attention. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie filing for divorce is sad, but it's not news. Kanye West being hospitalized, yeah, it's alarming. I pray he recovers, but it's not news. Positive, redemptive news is everywhere. You don't see things as they are, you see things as you are. Jesus said it this way, the eye is the lamp of the body. So whether you see a hopeless world or you see a hopeful one, you're right. Your perspective shapes your world, in other words. The news is one-sided for a reason. Dollar bills, y'all. Negativity sells. And if you are stuck in the mindset of fear and scarcity, you need to put down the phone, turn off the TV, and look around you, okay? If you have eyes to see, you will quickly notice that the world is not falling apart. Think about this right now. For the first time in centuries, there are no wars in the Western Hemisphere. We are 500 times more likely to die a violent death today than you were in the Middle Ages, especially with COVID and all these other things, traffic accidents, and all these other types of calamities that we have. Instances of rape have drastically reduced and decreased in the last 50 years. but so has the number of people in slavery. Rates of infant mortality have also drastically decreased. Google even has a plan to give every human being internet access. It's a true story. And in the last 25 years, 2.6 billion more people have gained access to clean drinking water. Injustices still exist. Yes, we have work to do, but doomsday is not imminent, despite what your news channels and evangelists are telling you. When was the last time you decided to notice the miraculous redemptive events that are in front of you? If you find out 2 hours later any information, you'll be fine. The never-ending news cycle leads us to believe that it's irresponsible to be uninformed. Well, let me enlighten you. If you don't read the newspaper, you are uninformed. But if you do read the newspaper, you are misinformed. So being in the know is not a virtue. Being in the know is somehow virtuous in today's world, but isn't it ludicrous? Let's play a game. Which one doesn't look like the rest? Integrity, love, being in the know. I mean, seriously, if you find out the latest gossip 2 hours later, are you a lesser human? Of course not. Some stories, by all means, they do matter more than others. Give those more attention. Okay. Although I'm not into flashing my background in biblical Hebrew on you, it did cost me a pretty penny, and this is one of the few times that it's valuable. Now, in Hebrew, the word for weight is kavod. Originally, kavod was an economical term, often used in business to determine something's value. The heavier the item, the more value. Kavod is also used to describe significance or holiness. Kavod is used to describe God's glory. Christians need to recognize what matters and what doesn't. Stories about massive loss of life deserve more kavod than the latest celebrity gossip. Your soul knows this. Your news outlets of choice doesn't, or maybe it does. Either way, this might be the most tragic result of never-ending news streams. When every story received is getting the same airtime, the same airspace, our internal meter has been skewed, and we have no filter through which to describe significance anymore. This, I believe, inflicts great harm on our souls. You must combat the media's attempt to skew your significance meter, and you must do so as if your very life depends on it. And in many ways, it actually does. When your heart can't discern what deserves more weight, uneasiness and anxiety is going to kick in. Some time ago, I decided to go on a journey to just rediscover my sense of kavod, and here's what I decided to do. When you scroll across the story of injustice, pain, death, or loss, I intentionally focus on it for about 10 to 15 seconds. And this simple exercise trains my heart to recognize weightier stories, or stories that matter. I don't know if this exercise is going to work for you. If not, find something that recalibrates your soul to recognize kavod, what matters. Find a rhythm that will get you to be informed without damaging your soul. Media firehouses us with information that leaves more space for no reflection. Unless you step away from the firehouse, you are going to drown from superficiality and fear. You need perspective to see things as they are. Okay? Here's a practical response to this. Turn off push notifications on your phone. Stop allowing and to interrupt your life. You decide when you receive news. Every now and then, turn off your phone and disconnect. Myself, 6:30, 7 p.m., phone is off, flight mode, not interested. Don't be a slave to your timeline. Find a rhythm of engagement and disconnection. How much of each? Well, listen to your soul. When hope begins to replace fear, you have found a good rhythm. And as a follower of Christ, I'm hopeful that I believe that the best is yet to come. We can engage the news without losing hope. Let's start today, because it's your life. Make it a good one.